Right, good afternoon. Talking about spreadsheet software or spreadsheet, electronic spreadsheet. So far we have discussed the basic things about spreadsheet and also we started the formula, right, which is very important in examination because spreadsheet is for performing calculation. So when it comes to calculation, you need to type formula. So in the previous class or in the last class, we used formula to get the total, right? So we used a particular formula and we managed to get the total. But I didn't explain further about such formula because we didn't have enough time on that particular day. So today we will have to take the formula again, same formula, right? The one which we entered in the previous class to be taken again. Let's understand because we copied the formula and pasted to the others, right? We didn't type a formula for each and every row. We copied a formula and pasted remaining rows, right? So so there is a change occurred when a formula is copied. Definitely that will be changed, so we should understand how that change occurred or something, right? Okay, so let's take the formula again, right? And let's see how the formula changes when it is copied. Right, look here. To apply those formula, we need some data. So let me type some set of data, right? So I randomly type some data. All right, so these are enough. Right. So I have reduced the width of each column in order to show them in one screen, right? So now let's see, you have 16 numbers, right? We have 16 numbers. So let's add the first row, right? There are 4 numbers in the first row. Let's add all these 4 numbers and show the result in even, okay? So hope everyone remembers that formula. Every formula starts with equal sign. So it is equal. And then you have to enter, or you have to use the cell address which has the value. So since 50 is in A1, so it is A1. For addition, it's plus. So whereas 65, it is in B1, right? So it is B1. Again, a plus. 80 is in C1 plus. This is D1. Okay, equal A1 plus B1 plus C1 plus D1. So let me press the enter key. So now the total is displayed, right? You got 260. Okay, it works. To get the total for the remaining rows, the second row, third row, fourth row, you don't need to type the formula again. Just copy your formula, right? You can use your formula for the remaining rows. So everyone remembers that method, right? There are 4 steps to be taken when you need to copy a formula to the others, right? So first, what is the first step? Select the particular cell which has the formula. So now in my case, or in this case, the formula is in E1. So I have selected E1. Okay. So second one, you have to click on copy icon, right? You know, there is an icon called copy. So we have to click on the copy because this formula has to be copied. So click on copy. Okay. Now as an indication, you can see some animated line there. So it is an indication for copying. So now the formula has been copied. So now I have to paste that formula in pixels, right? So E2, E3, E4. Okay, so we need to copy that formula. We need to paste that formula in 3 cells, E2, E3, E4. So pasting one by one takes time. So rather than pasting one by one, select the cell range, right? This is my third step. So I want to select E2 colon E4. You know how to write the cell range, right? So E2, E4 selected. Finally, you have to paste the formula. So click on paste icon. Now, as you can see, we got the answers. Okay, right. So this was explained during the previous class. This is not the new thing you already learned, right? But the reason for taking this example again is to understand how that change happened, right? How that formula changes, right? So we need to understand that one. Listen to me. So this is the one which I entered in E1 equal A1 plus B1 plus C1 plus D1. Look, it has been changed as A2 plus B2 plus C2 plus D2 in E2, right? We entered equal A1 plus B1 plus C1 plus D1 in E2, in cell E2, sorry, E1. But that has been changed as equal A2, B2, C2, D2. So this is in E2. Even if you check in E3, have a look at that E3, further changes. Right now, A3 plus B3 plus C3 plus D3. So now everyone can easily understand that the formula which we entered in E1 definitely changed, right? So it doesn't exist in the same manner. So it has been changed. So let's understand the change. So now look here, A2, B2, C2, D2. So let's understand how it's possible or how things changed. Okay, wait. So I write that formula on the board because to explain. So this is the one in E1, A1, B1, C1, D1. Have a look at this. Okay, so in E1, we have a formula equal A1 plus B1 plus C1 plus D1. Okay, so let's see how this formula changes when it is copied in cell E2, right? Listen to me, cell E2. So we are going from E1 to E2. E2. Okay, right. So let's understand the change. Listen to me carefully because this is very important for the upcoming formulas. So if you are able to understand the changes, then definitely you can manage the remaining things. So try understanding each and everything carefully. Right, look here. Now the formula is in E1. We are going to copy that in E2. Okay, so which means, right, so which means we are going from one cell to another cell. Presently we are in E1, right? We will move to E2. Look here. Yes, we change the cell because we are in E1, we will move to E2. So definitely we change the cell, but have a look at this. Look at the column letter. Column letter is same. Now also it is E, even in the future also it is E. So which means column is not going to be changed. And look here, the row is changed, right? So when we move from one cell to another, in this particular instance, row is the one to be changed, not column. That is the first thing to be noted, to be remembered, right? You have to check whether column is changed or row is changed. In this instant, column remains same, but row is changed. Okay, okay, I noted that. Thereafter, you have to check whether, you have to check how many rows that you go down. Look here, now you are in first row. You will be in the second row. Look here, after copying, you will move to the next row. So which means you will move one row down. Have you understood? Now I'm in first row. I will be in second row after copying. So which means I'm going towards down, but one row below. So now you should understand that every row here will be increased by 1. Have you noted? Every row number in the formula will be increased by 1. It will be increased by 1 because here, look at the change. Now we are in first row, we will move to the second row. So now we will go only one row down. So definitely here also, the row numbers will be changed by 1. But have a look at the column letters. Column letters never be changed. Why? Now also I'm in E column. After some time, I will be in E column. So remain same, column remains same. So since you are in the same column, the column letter will not be changed. But row should be changed because we are changing the row. We are going from first row to second row, right? That's why row number is changed. So now what would be displayed in E2? You know, A1 becomes A2. Plus is always plus because when it is copied, you know, that will be displayed, right? That will be same as, you know, in MS Word, when you copied your name and paste several times, your same name will be displayed, right? So here also same thing. When you copy a plus, definitely it is plus. Here B1, it must be B2 plus. C1, it must be C2 plus. D1 becomes D2. This is the formula displayed in cell E2. Have you understood? This may be the very simple idea. I take it again. I explain everything again. So the formula is in E1 at the moment. This is the formula A1 plus B1 plus C1 plus D1. So this will be copied to E2. Copied means copy and paste. So you don't need to worry about that. Copying the formula means copy and paste. So it will be pasted into E2. Okay. So definitely we change the cell, right? We are moving from one cell to another cell. Definitely there is a change. But we should understand or we should check whether the column is changed or row is changed. But look at the column remains same. Now we are in the E column, even after copying also we will be in the E column. So column never be changed, or column is not changed. So since column is not changed, the column letters in your formula never be changed. That must be very important conclusion. But look at the row is changed, right? It changes as 2, right? We are in the first row, but it will be changed as second row. So now you should understand that row numbers will be changed, but it must be changed by 1 because here, look at the change. We are moving from first row to second row. So which means we go one row down. So definitely here also row numbers will be changed by 1. So this must be the formula in E2. Even if you copy further in E3, okay, let's copy this in E3. So now this is in E2. So when you copy this in E3, again, have a look at the change. We are moving from E2 to E3. So which means we are changing the row. But look at the column letter, column remains same. So now there is no changes occurred in column letter. But definitely there is a change in the row because look at the row. We are moving from second row to third row. So how many rows which go down? Only one row. Going from second row to third row, only one row. So here there is an increment in row numbers, but that must be only by 1, right? So what's the formula here? A2 becomes A3 plus B2 becomes B3 plus C3 plus D3. This is in E3 now. Even if it is further copied, it will be changed, right? So let's see the answer now. Let's see our formula now. Look here. So it has been changed as A2, B2, C2, D2, right? Look here, A3, B3, C3, D3. Now A4, B4, C4, D4. try understanding the simple technique, simple trick, right? So if you understand, definitely you can manage the remaining thing. Okay. To get some other things, I want to clarify one more thing. Look here. Everyone, I mean, watch carefully because I want to ask some questions. So try look at that. I mean, example. Okay. So now this formula is in E1. Okay. Minutes ago, we copied that formula in E2, E3, and E4, and we got the answer. And also I explained how that change, I explained about that change, right? So now I hope you all understood that idea, right? So you know how the formula is changes when it is copied, right? Now, yes, it is in E1. It is going to be copied in F1, right? Earlier I copied that formula in E2, but this time I'm not going to copy in E2, going to copy that in F1. Here it is, right? Next time. But where is the formula now? It is in E1. It has to be copied, or it will be copied in F1. So now my question is, what would be the formula displayed in F1, right? So look here. Right? So this is the formula, same formula in E1. So now it has to be copied in F1. So definitely the formula changes because we are moving from one cell to another cell. Right? At the moment we are in E1, right? We will move to F1 after some time. So definitely there must be changes because whenever we move from one cell to another cell, the formula will be changed, right? Can anyone tell me the formula which is displayed in F1? What is in F1?
B1 plus C1 plus D1 plus E1.
Repeat it.
B1,
B1, right? Okay.
plus C1
Plus C1
plus D1
D1
plus E1
equal B1 plus C1 plus D1 plus E1. Is it correct? Others? Any others? If you have any other answer, try giving me. Is it correct? Is it correct? Ashwini K. Ashwini K.
Yes.
Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Abhinaya B. Abhinaya B.
No, sir.
So what would be displayed in F1?
We should also add A1.
So tell your answer.
A1 plus B1.
A1 plus B1.
C1
C1.
plus C1
Yes.
plus D1
D1
and E1.
and E1. Right, look, I will explain. So we have two answers on the board. We can, when we have different answers, we can easily, I mean, argue and discuss, right? Look, so what did I tell you? You have to check something first, right? Look here. At the moment, the formula is in E1, right? Now it is in E1. It has to be copied to F1. Okay, so definitely there is a change occurred in terms of cell, right? So we are changing the cell. But look here, we are going from E1 to F1. So which means the row is not changed. We are not changing the row. Have a look at that. We are in the first row now. Maybe minutes after we will be in the first row. So remains same. Row remains same. We are not changing the row. So now understand that the row is not changed in the formula. Remember that, right? Because we are not changing the row, right? Now we are in the first row. After some time, we will be in the same row. So row number never be changed. In your formula, you have row number, right? 1, 1, 1, 1. That never be changed. That must be very important. But have a look at the column later. Now it is E, but thereafter it becomes F. So E becomes F. So which means column is changed by 1. Look at that, present column is E. So maybe the next column, next column would be F. So we are changing the column by 1. So now try to understand that every column letter in the formula is increased by 1. I repeat that. Column letter in formula is changed by 1, which means it takes the next character, next letter. So A becomes, listen, A becomes B. So it is B1. B becomes C. It is C1. C becomes D. So it is D1. D becomes E. So it is E1. So this would be the right answer. There is no changes occurred in the row letter, row number, because row is not changed in the example, right? We are in the same row, but we move from one column to another column. So definitely column letter is increased. Have you understood? So now this here the column letter is changed. In the previous instance, row number is changed. But look, so if I copy this in F2, suppose if I copy this in F2, let's copy this in F2. So now tell me what would be displayed in F2?
B2 plus C2 plus D2 plus E2.
Yes. So now going from first row to second row, but column same, right? So we will be in the same column will be F, but we will move from first row to second row. So row is changed. But look here, row is changed by 1. Moving from first row to second row. So here, every row number in the formula is increased by 1. So B1 becomes B2. Plus C1 becomes C2. Plus D1 becomes D2. Plus E1 becomes E2. This is the formula displayed in F2 at the moment. Got it? So try understanding that change. It's very simple, right? So if you are able to catch that particular idea, definitely you can manage everything. So this is very important. So okay, look, let's take one more example. Look, so here, see there is a formula in B10. Right, we have a formula in cell B10. So this is, let's say, A9 plus B9 plus C9. Okay, so this is the formula in B10 now. Okay, so let's copy this formula. Copy this formula in B80. B cell B80. I repeat it, we have a formula in cell B10. This formula will be copied in cell B80. So tell me what would be displayed in B80 now? Anybody? What is in B80 now?
Equal
A79 plus B79 plus C79.
A79 plus B79 plus C79. What about this idea? Is it correct? What about this answer? Is it right? Look, in the previous instance, we moved from one cell to another cell. We went to the immediate cell, which means next cell. So we went from first row to second row. But here, the formula is in row number 10, but that has to be copied to row number 80. So we have to go for long distances. We are not moving from we are not moving to the next immediate row, right? So we will move far away. But don't be confused and don't count one by one. It is not important, because look here, when you are in B10, when the formula is in B10, look here, it is A9, it is B9, it is C9. So at the time when the formula was in B10, every cell address has a row number which is 9. Okay, now look here, we will move to B80. So going from B10 to B80. So when we were in B10, it is A9, which means one row, down, right? Which means one row less, right? So here, when we are in B80, okay, so what happens? It must be, look at the row number changes, column not changed, right? So column is not changed, still we are in the B column. So now you should understand that A is not changed, B is not changed, C is not changed. Only the row number is changed. So we have to identify that. So here it is A, it's okay, A. When we were in B10, it's A9. Okay, one short. So here, when we are in B80, definitely it is 79. So look here, when we are in the 10th row, it is 9, again one short. So here, when we are in 80, it must be 79. When we were in B10 or 10th row, it is 9. So again, same number, one short. So when we are in 80, so it is 79. So don't take much time to calculate, just find quickly. So it would be A79 plus B79 plus C79. Such questions can be asked in exams, right? Even in the first part and second part. In both papers, such questions can be asked. Even, in fact, they were asked in the past. Okay, so try understanding that change is very important. Look. Right, look. So I hope that you all understood that idea, that method, right? So typing a formula or finding a formula is not hard. That is very simple, because it's all about maths. You have that basic mathematics, but understanding the change is very important, because that is not related to your maths. So that must be related to here, right? So, spreadsheet. So try understanding that one. Okay, look here. So we type this formula, equal A1 plus B1 plus C1 D1. Earlier, I copied this formula to the remaining cells by using a method which needs 4 steps. You all understood, right? What are the 4 steps? Select the cell address E1. Right? Select the cell address E1. Then click on copy icon. Third step, selecting the cell range E2 to E4. Finally, click on the paste icon. Okay, so this method needs 4 steps. But if you use this method, definitely you have to use 4 steps. So when it comes to practical, sometimes it is hard because it needs time. You have to, complete 4 steps. So definitely it takes time. So therefore, we have a short method or shortcut method for copying and pasting the formula. This may be the standard method, this may be the right method, but since it needs 4 steps, we have a shortcut method for getting the answers for the remaining cells. Okay, so I will introduce that method. Have a look at this. Let's erase them. I won't erase them. Okay, so here I have this formula in E1. Have a look at this. This is also very important, right? So now E1 is selected. You can see the cell pointer there. Look at the bottom right corner of the cell pointer, right? So you can see, look, you can see a small, square mark there on the bottom right corner of the cell pointer. I just want to increase the zoom. You can see that, right? On the right side, bottom part, right? So there is a small square there. That is called fill handle. Have you noted that particular mark? Bottom right corner, we have a small square that is called fill handle. So if it is a cell, so assume this is a cell pointer. So here there may be a small mark, right? Small square. That is called fill handle. We can use that fill handle for copying and paste, for copy and paste. Okay, let's use that. Right. Now take your mouse pointer towards that cell, fill handle. So now look at the mouse pointer. It looks a square shape, but it looks a different, not square, it is a plus symbol. Look at the mouse pointer, it looks a plus symbol, but that plus is different plus. But when I take on top of that particular fill handle, it becomes as a normal plus symbol. You can see a black color plus symbol, right? And now click and drag up to E4. So now what happened? I copied the formula and pasted in E2, E3, E4. Now I can release the mouse button, right? Now you can see the answers are there. If you want to check the accuracy, you can, right? Double click and check it. Look here. A3, B3, C3, D3. Look here. A2, B2, C2, D2. So what happened? That formula has been copied and pasted. But we didn't, use the copy button or paste button. We did it by using a shortcut method. Take that again. So select that particular cell which has the formula, and you have to focus on the fill handle. So take your mouse pointer on top of that cell fill handle. Wait until it becomes a plus symbol. Now click and drag up to your expected mark, right? So I want up to E4. So now release the mouse button. Now it is there. This is also copy and paste, right? There is nothing in terms of magic, right? So no magic happens. So it is a method for copying and pasting. But when it comes to practical, try following this method, because following such 4 steps definitely need time, right? For when you're doing practicals in the computer, you can use this method, dragging the fill handle, right? You have to drag the fill handle up to that particular cell range. Okay, right. So I hope that you understood this basic idea about copying and pasting, right? So I don't want to explain further, but definitely at one stage I will take such thing again, because I need to explain some advanced concepts related to these changes, right? But not today, maybe not tomorrow. After some time, maybe after 1 or 2 classes, I try to explain these changes again, but not the same, but definitely it would be a different one. But definitely for the understanding that one, we need this idea. So wait until I take that. Okay, right, okay. So now we type the formula and got the results. There's no doubt at all, right? But if you want to add 20 numbers or 30 numbers or sometimes 100 numbers, this method is very tough, because in this formula, we have to type every cell address by separating a plus. So since I want to add 4 numbers, I use 4 cell addresses here. Imagine if you want to add 20 cells. So definitely you need to type A1 plus B1 plus C1 plus D1 plus E1 plus F1. It takes time. You need to spend a lot of time in entering the formula, typing the formula. It is not good because we use spreadsheet in order to, perform calculations. But at the same time, that spreadsheet should save our time. But if you are spending so much time in typing your formula, it is not good, right? So if that happens, nobody wants to have or wants to use spreadsheet. So definitely there should be different methods. Listen. For performing calculations, the spreadsheet software has special formula called functions. See, this is a formula, but purely it is maths, right? We applied the mathematics directly there. There is nothing related to spreadsheet. Maybe the cell addresses are there, that may be related to spreadsheet, but otherwise entirely it belongs to maths. We used plus, and also we use equal, everything is maths. But to do some calculations with ease, spreadsheet software has special formula called functions. Okay, even for addition, we have a function. With the help of that particular function, it is too easy to find the total, right? So let's start the functions. So functions are nothing. They are special formula available in spreadsheet software for performing calculations. But if you use a normal mathematical formula, sometimes it is tough because, as you can see, you need to type so many cell addresses one by one. But if you use such functions, it's too simple to enter the formula, right? Okay, let's see. So let me erase these things. Right, look. Let's add the first row numbers, the numbers in first row, and find the total. But this time I'm not going to use my basic mathematics. I'm going to use a function which is responsible for addition in spreadsheet. So every function should start with equal sign because, you know, function also one of the formula. So definitely it must start with equal sign. There is no doubt at all. But if it is a function in a spreadsheet, definitely it starts with an English term. Every function has its own name. But if it is a normal mathematical formula, you know, there is no specific command or specific word there. But for functions, there should be a special name. So now we are performing addition operation. For addition, there is a function called sum, equal sum. Okay, and then you have to start the simple bracket. Listen to me very carefully, right? Simple bracket. So now, as you can see, there is something displayed on the bottom part. Hope you can see that sum within bracket number 1, comma, number 2, comma, something goes there. So this is the typical format of this sum function. Even we can say that it is the rule of sum function. So actually this particular one helps you to enter the formula or enter the function, because I don't know about the function. So when I start, it guides me. So this is actually not we never call that as a guide or help or something. It is called rules, right? These are rules. So in computer term, that is syntax. Syntax, syntax, syntax. Syntax is a kind of rule. So that rule actually is shown on the bottom part. By following the rule, you can finish the function, right? So according to the syntax, so according to the rule, it's going to be number 1. So what does it mean? The first number to be added. So which is the first number to be added? 50. But we don't enter the number directly, we enter the cell address which has that number. So which cell has that number? A1. So rather than typing 50, type A1. Now follow the rule. So now the rule says that it is comma. So put the comma. Okay, so now it shows number 2. Look here, number 2, you can avoid that bracket, right? Ignore the bracket, no need. So number 2, which means second number to be added. What is the second number? It is B1. So now you can see the syntax, it is a comma. So put a comma again. So this time it's number 3. Now you can see that the syntax or that rule is growing, right? So now it is number 3, which means our 80. So where is that 80? It is in C1, right? C1. Again a comma. So put a comma. This is the last number 65, which is in D1. It asks number 5, but since we don't have any number 5, we can close the bracket. This is a function, but definitely function itself a formula, right? You can call this as a formula too, but it has a special name called function. Okay, look at the format again, look at the syntax, equal sum, within bracket, you need to give all the cell addresses separated by a comma, right? A1, you cannot use the plus here, right? This is not right. So plus can be used only for your mathematical formula, but when it comes to function, you cannot use any arithmetic operators, right? So put the comma and finally press the enter key. Now you can see the total is displayed. To get the remaining totals, which means E2, E3, E4, you can use your copy paste method. You don't need to type the formula or function again and again. Try using this function for the remaining cells. So look here, look at the function equal sum A1, B1, C1, D1. So it is in E1 now. Where is this function? It is in E1. So when it is copied to E2, A1 becomes A2, B1 becomes B2, C1, C2, D1, D2. Sum remains same because sum is a word, right? Look here, copy and paste. I want to use the fill handler. Try understanding. Copy and paste. Now you can check it. So here also you have 260. Try checking. A2, B2, C2, D2. Now these 4 numbers I did. Look here. A3, B3, C3, D3. You can double click and view the formula, right? Function. Double click. So A4, B4, C4, D4. It works. Okay, so this is the function. For addition, we use sum. This is the format sum, sorry, equal sum within bracket. Give your cell addresses, but don't forget to put the comma, right? Okay, but even though you use the function here, but even in this instance also, you have the same problem, because when you want to add 20 numbers, if you follow this method, definitely 20 cell addresses need to be given. Equal sum within bracket A1, comma B1, comma C1, comma D1, comma E1, comma F1, so on. 20 addresses to be given, right? So you understood this pattern. So now you may think that it is also one of the hardest method to use. Yes, it seems to be the same as our previous one, but here we can have some different patterns also. We can use this sum function in a different manner. Okay, let's take that. I'm going to raise these things again. Right. Let's add the 4 numbers again. So it is equal sum. The function is same, right? Equal sum. But note here, you have 4 numbers to be added, but all these 4 numbers in a certain cell range. I hope that you all remember the word cell range, right? Because I already explained that one. So cell range means the cells which are placed, nearby, right? So nearby cells can be cell range. It may be horizontally placed or vertically placed, doesn't matter. So here, all these 4 cells are in a certain range, but because they are neighboring cells. So since they are neighboring cells, they can be cell range. So If the numbers to be added are in a certain cell range, try using the cell range only. You don't need to give all the cell addresses one by one. That may be the, basic method, but since you have your numbers in a certain cell range, give the cell range only. That is more than enough. So now look here. This is the range, right? A1 to D1. So how to write the cell and cell range? I explained, right? You need to give the cell first cell address, right? So which is your first cell in the range? A1. So give A1. Then you don't need to type B1 and C1 because they are in between two extremes, because starting point there, ending point there. In between these two cells, the other cells are there. So you don't need to type the other cells. So now put the colon symbol. This is colon. That colon mark or colon symbol is for showing the range. So now give this last cell in the range. So which is the last cell in the range? It's D1, right? So give D1. Close the bracket. As you can see, there is a blue color highlighted there, so which indicates that all the numbers are selected. So equal sum A1 colon D1. Now press the enter key. So I got the same answer. So if you use this method, even you can add 100 numbers, but not all the 100 numbers must be in a certain range. Then only it is possible. If you want to add 20 numbers which are in a certain range, try giving the first cell and the last cell. You don't need to specify the cells which are in between the first and last, right? Okay. And also we can copy the formula to the remaining cells. This is the formula here, equal sum A1 colon D1. It is in E1, right? It is in E1. When we copy this function to E2, A1 becomes A2. D1 becomes D2. So which means A1 here 76, D2 80. So it must be the second one. Copy that. I want to copy this function to the remaining cells. See that? A2 colon D2. I'm not going to explain the change again, right? So everyone understands that one. So no need for explaining the change again. Okay, A3 colon D3. A4 colon D4. Got it? So it may be very simple because if you have many numbers in a certain range, you need to give only two cells, first cell and the last cell. Right? So doesn't matter how many cells are in between, you can have the answer. It may be thousands of cells in the range, right? Definitely addition takes place. Okay, look. Now, let's try this in a different manner. Sum function is not yet finished, right? Look here. Now, for a demonstration purpose, I try this. I want to add these 8 numbers, right? I want to add these 8 numbers and also this 76. I want to add the 9 numbers, these 8 numbers and also 76, and want to show the answer in E1. Okay. So if it is a formula, mathematical formula, you know that, right? Equal A1, then plus B1, plus C1, plus D1, plus A2. It goes like that, A2 plus B2. I'm not going to try that one because it kills the time. Let's use the function equal sum. Okay, look here. Now look here, you need 9 numbers to be added. But all these 9 numbers are not in the range. How to find the range? If you think that it is a range, definitely it must be a rectangle shape or a square shape. Look here, it is in a range. Look at that range, it looks like a rectangle. See, this is also a range. The cells are one after the other. So that looks like a rectangle shape. That is range. Even this is range. Okay. If you are able to include the cells in a rectangle manner or square manner, definitely it is a range. Look here, this is a range. This is a range. But now you need these 8 numbers and 76. Do all these 9 numbers in a single range? No. Or are in 9 numbers in a single range? No, right? Definitely not. But these 8 numbers are in a certain range. Have you understood? These 8 numbers are in a range and 76 is not in a range, so that may be another number. So how to use the sum here? Equal sum. You don't need to give each and every cell addresses one by one, because you can find one cell range there. So give the cell range first. What's the cell range? A1, okay, here. And where your cell range ends? Here, right? D, put the colon, D2. Have you understood this idea? Equal sum A1 colon D2, which means this area. So rather than typing A1, B1, C1, D1, A2, B2, C2, D2, I simply typed equal A1 colon D2. Now this range includes all these 8 numbers. But I want one more number to be added. Where is that number? It is in D4, which is not in the range. So put a comma, because you know sum function, right? So generally in a sum function, we separate the cells by a comma. So now you have a certain range, and also there should be another number added. So give that number after a comma. So where is that number? It is in D4. Close the bracket. So now we add a range with the number. So this range has 8 numbers and then plus. Press the enter key. Now I got 596. So in this instance, these 8 numbers and also 76 added. Okay. Look here. Let's add these 8 numbers and these 4 numbers together. I take another instance, right? Another example. Want to add these 8 numbers and these 4 numbers. So totally 12 numbers to be added. So let's show the answer in E1 equal sum. Right. You have 12 numbers, but not all these 12 numbers in a range. Okay, because there are 4 numbers in between them, right? So these, I don't want these 4 numbers. Okay, so definitely these 12 numbers are not in the range, but the first 8 numbers are in one range, and also the last 4 numbers in another range. So in this instance, try giving the ranges separately. So first of all, give the first range. So it starts from A1, where it ends D2, right? Put a colon, D2. So now first 8 numbers are included. Put a comma. And now you need to add another 4 numbers. They are also in a certain range. So give that particular range. So where that range starts, A4 here, colon, where it ends, D4. Close the bracket. So now we add 2 ranges. That blue color range has these 8 numbers, and that green color range has 4 numbers. There is a comma, so definitely these 12 numbers are added. Look at the answer. It is 801. So you can use sum function in different patterns, right? So even if you want to add, okay, let's see 70. You want to add this 70 along with these 12 numbers. You have 12 numbers at the moment. With these 12 numbers, you need 70 to be added. So put a comma somewhere. And where is this 70? It is in C3. So 2 ranges and 1 cell address are in the range. So they are in the formula. So if I press the enter key, it shows the answer. Okay, so try understanding every possible method which we can use for sum, because as a student you are always expected such things in exam. You can't say that it is possible to, or it is enough for having one method for you, right? No, you must use all the possible method, because you can be checked like that in examination. For someone who uses spreadsheet for their day-to-day life, maybe one method is okay, right? You can use that comma, this one range. But as a student, you should be able to know all the possible methods, right? Actually, there is no different method, one method, but that method can be expanded in different way. Okay, so this is the sum function, right? So we use sum function for finding the total. The basic idea is, or basic method is, try giving cell addresses separated by comma, right? But that may be okay when your numbers are here and there. Suppose if your numbers are not in a range, if they are scattered, you don't have any option. So definitely you must use sum. With the bracket, you have to put the cells separated by comma. But if you have numbers in a particular range, definitely you must use, or you must show the cell range. That may save your time. Okay, so we finished one function today, which is for finding the total. Fortunately, we have only 5 functions in our syllabus, right? But you know, spreadsheet has thousands of functions, maybe 100, even we can say thousands. Fortunately, we have only 5. And also the most, favorite thing is, all these 5 functions have the same syntax, have the same format. Of course, the function name is different. Here it is sum. Maybe after that we will take average. Maybe after some time we will take average. For finding the average, maybe the function name is different, but the format, the syntax, this rule remains same. So learning or understanding or keeping these functions in your mind is very simple. But not all the functions have the same format. We have hundreds of functions in spreadsheet. But fortunately, these 5 functions which are included in our syllabus have the same format. So it's so easy to remember and apply them. Okay. So in the next class, we can conclude those remaining 4 functions. But that doesn't mean that spreadsheet is over, but we can complete the 4 functions. So again, try spending some time in today's lesson, because these are very basics, very important. So understand the fact. So we can take the remaining functions in the next class. Okay, so thank you.